I think most men, not all men, not every man, but the majority of us as men, when we get married, we think protect, provide, provision for a lifetime, die for if necessary. We think work for, live for, kill for, die for. So when we give a ring, the mindset that we go into the marriage with is this is a person that I am going to work to sustain and create stability and security for. And if it is necessary, I will give my life up for this woman. I think that's what most men who enter a marriage at the start, that is what they are thinking. Now, I think for women, you ladies have lots of different ideas, with partnership and all types of weirdo stuff. And because of that, oftentimes, and I mean no disrespect by that, but oftentimes that's why you can end up with some dude like Nick. You can end up with some guy that doesn't believe in anything, and you can end up with some guy that has no morals or standards. Brother Darwin, he led with, "Hey, I believe in virtues." He's letting you know, like I have concepts and ideas that I place above my penis, my wallet, my life, things that I am willing to submit to as a man of God that I put above myself. And because of that, I can be stable enough to be in a relationship with, because even if somebody more attractive than you comes along, even if you put on some weight, even if you get sick, I can conceptualize duty, responsibility, and loyalty above my own individual needs so I can present a foundation upon which we can build. And a lot of women, they just, especially nowadays, they just don't have the mindset for that. They're immature, and they're hedonistic, right? Meaning that they focus on their own pleasure. And so when you hear them describe marriage, they talk kind of like you were just saying, it's something different for everybody. No, it's not. When you are a man, and I'll land on this point, and
Mm-hmm.
you decide to marry a woman,
Mm-hmm.
you get together her friends, her family, your friends, your family, and then in front of the highest effigy, the highest possible conceptualization of whatever power you submit to in this world, you promise to love her and that you are starting the foundations of a family. Now, what I tell men, because I do coaching and mentorship for men, is I tell them, listen, don't deal with a woman who takes marriage lightly. If
Mm-hmm.
she says, you know what, I can take it or leave it. I'm single, independent. I don't need a man. I want a man. I don't need a man. Marriage ain't a flex. My body count don't matter. A baby in my body ain't really a baby. All of this stuff that women have come up with that is anti-family, anti-husband, anti-marriage, anti-man. You can't build with that. And so, if you are somebody and you're going to give a commitment to give up your life for another individual, if the situation calls for it, and if the situation never arises, you are going to work your life away to create stability for that woman. You need a woman who wants to be a wife and a mother. And the rest of you all, not you, because I don't know you and I'm not trying to insult you, y'all can date the Nick Cannons. Y'all can deal with some dude that's here today and gone tomorrow, and he likes variety, and you can be on his roster. Because what I have figured out in 44 years of life, whether you realize it or not, is that we all are only ever getting what we deserve. And foolishness is the only thing that keeps us from realizing that.
Right. What about the people that, it starts off one way, right? But then it's like it's an imposter, right? You say all that good stuff. You say everything that you just said, right? And it's like, because like I'm all for all that. But then after you're in the house, and then it's like, well, who is this? Who are
Get
you?
it?
Because see, my second marriage, like I was like, I'm not living with you. I'm not going to live with. I'm not shacking. I'm just not doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
in doing so, the person that I married, I was like, well, hold on a second now. I didn't see this. well, what's going on here? So how do you,
Who was the man that helped you vet your last husband? Who was the man that helped you vet your last husband?
um, I don't think I had one. Now, was
Okay.
that
All right.
I was
Do
missing
you?
a that?
Yeah. Do you think that women are know enough about men to be able to discern the character of a man?
Probably not, because they're not a man.
Okay. Well, do you ever use your relationships as mirrors? to try to understand what it says about you to pick somebody who might be fraudulent. And I don't mean that with any disrespect, because that could be a problem with discernment. It might not mean that you have bad character yourself. But, our relationships are mirrors. They
Right.
show us sides of ourselves, holes in our armor, or character flaws. And oftentimes we miss the opportunity to look into the mirror of the relationship we just came out of to try to understand something more deep about ourselves. And I think women miss that opportunity a lot of times, because the way that a lot of women get over their last man is by getting underneath another. They miss all of that stuff that they should have been able to learn from their last experience, you know? And so, and then not only that, it doesn't seem, with all due respect as well, like you are a person of faith, right? And so
Hold on, wait, back up, buddy. What did you just say?
I said, it doesn't seem to me as if you are a person of faith. I didn't mean that as disrespect.
Hold on. We need to hold on, and you need to
Wait a minute.
or whatever.
You can
Hold
correct
up.
me if I'm wrong.
Put
Yeah, but why would you assume that?
yeah, dude.
And
Well,
you're a
because
life
I don't,
coach?
I can tell you, I can tell you why. I didn't mean it as an insult. I'm making an assessment. And the reason I'm making an assessment is because there are
Oh,
certain, I'm sorry.
I'm
Uh,
sorry. You're making an assumption.
yeah,
Okay.
I made an assumption based off of the evidence I have in front of me. And the evidence I have in front of me is I don't hear any of the precepts, any of the concepts, any of the wisdom of the book. So because it is all missing, I assume that you aren't
Oh,
familiar with it.
wait. Should I go get my Bible study notes? I mean, because we can go. Just I may not quote scripture, but
You don't have to
people
quote scripture.
that
It's not on you, it's in you.
hold on. First off, buddy, you don't ever start making assumptions on people, especially when we start talking fake, because you don't know me. You said it before. You don't know me.
It
So
seems like I've offended you. I apologize for that.
you did offend me. But
Okay. Well,
so
then I would hope that you would accept
I'm
my
gonna
apology.
talk.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you,
I'm gonna let you
and you
talk.
asked about yourself specifically.
Okay.
And so I commented on you specifically. Now, if the cost of getting anything wrong when you ask a question about yourself and use yourself as a case study is that you're going to turn on me, then I'll neglect from having a conversation with you where you talk about anything personal. Okay? Because
Okay.
I don't want to offend you. I don't know you, and I'm not trying to insult you.
Can we repeat the question that she asked you?
Yes, she had asked a question about why it is that guys switched up, and then she used her personal life as a case study for a switch up. So I commented on her since she offered herself up as a case study, but I did not do that to insult her. That's why I offered her an apology immediately.
But a lot of times, well, a lot of times, some people are just people before they're a position or a title in your life. And
Sure.
so, based on that wisdom, it is very ignorant to assume and judge somebody you don't know and assume because they chose a man that they showed up to be something else they turned out to be, them to be a non believer.
Yeah, that's not what I said or why I told you I drew that conclusion. So I don't think you were listening to me. But I don't want to argue with you about the difference between what I said and what you heard. I'd rather just move on.
Well, she didn't share anything except for that.
It
That was
did.
the question I asked
But
you
she,
specifically.
She
What was
asked
the
me
question
specifically
she
why.
asked you?
Yeah, she asked me specifically why I made the assessment I made. I gave a reason. It wasn't about her moving in with the guy or anything like that. It's obvious you didn't hear the reason, and I don't want to argue with you about that. We're free to move on anytime you like.
yeah, we can go ahead and move on. Let's go past you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You see why we women don't like to take accountability? You see why we hurt the most in relationships? You see why we keep going on and on and on and on and through relationships because we have not really looked in the point. I mean, this is the thing. I didn't take anything personal from him. I mean, he was asked a question, he answered it, and then we're going to try to dictate how it was answered. This and I'm saying until we really